All right, welcome to lesson 2.2. This lesson is going to cover environmental ethics and attitudes. So learning objective here is that you'll be able to describe the different philosophical approaches to environmental ethics as well as the different attitudes. So the three main philosophical approaches to environmental ethics are anthropocentrism, biocentrism, and ecocentrism. So first, anthropocentrism. With this belief, there is the belief that the environment provides value to humans and only deserves and gets protection when it benefits humans. So anthropology, whatever that is, human focused. So if you have the environmental ethic of anthropocentrism, or that philosophical approach, that means that you believe that the environment is here to serve human beings and deserves protection because of that, because of what it gives to us. The next is biocentrism, and this thinks that all living organisms have value, just an inherent value, including humans, and to protect and respect all living things. So humans are included in this. We are living creatures, but this is saying that living creatures have value on their own, not just because they serve humans. And then the last is ecocentrism. So similar to biocentrism, however, this includes everything in the ecosystem. So the ecosystem and the organisms living within them have inherent value, even when not benefiting humans directly. So ecosystems, that includes our biotic and abiotic factors, so living and non-living things. So everything in an ecosystem in the world around us, whether or not it is directly benefiting humans, has its own value. And here's a graphic right here that kind of breaks those down for you. There are other philosophical approaches, but we will focus on the first three. So other ones are ecofeminism, social ecology, deep ecology, environmental pragmatism, environmental aesthetics, and then animal rights and welfare. All right, so now on to environmental attitudes. So these relate over to those philosophical approaches, but because ethical commitments pull in different directions at different times, it's often easier to talk in terms of environmental attitudes or approaches. The three most common attitudes and approaches are development approach, preservation approach, and conservation approach. So development, this approach is the most anthropocentric. It assumes the human race is and should be the master of nature. It assumes that the earth and its resources exist solely for our benefit and pleasure. And this approach is reinforced by the capitalist work ethic. This approach thinks highly of human creativity and holds that continual economic growth is a moral ideal for society. So the goal is humans developing and growing much as we do right now. All right, the next approach is the preservation approach. So this approach is the most ecocentric. So remember, ecocentric is everything in the ecosystem, including living things, have value not just because they serve humans, or beyond the service they provide for humans. It holds that nature has intrinsic value apart from human uses, and preservationists such as John Mayer, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, and Walt Whitman all viewed nature as a refuge from economic activity, not as a resource for it, so not something that we should be making money from. Some preservationists wish to keep large parts of nature intact for aesthetic or recreational purposes, which are anthropocentric principles. So this is not saying that it can have no purpose or use towards humans, it just has value beyond that. And last but not least is the conservation approach. So this approach finds a balance between that development approach and the preservation approach. Conservationism promotes human well-being, but considers a wider range of long-term human goods in its decisions about environmental management. Many of the ideas in conservationism have been incorporated into an approach known as sustainable development. And if we look at sustainable development, it's a middle ground that seeks to promote development while still preserving the ecological health of the landscape. So it is sustainable. It provides social well-being, economic well-being, and environmental well-being. And that's the goal for sustainable development, is that we're keeping each one of those in mind as we are developing. All right, that is the end of this lesson. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one.